search for the cap for the left corner. So here it is. So at 11, we have cap LCA. So once we highlight that, we can go to local ops, and we're going to use the sphere tool. The sphere just looks like a gigantic ball, and what we actually want to do is we want the center of the vessel to be inside the sphere. So we also need to make the sphere a little smaller. So you can do that by dragging right while holding the right click. So the reason why we don't want it to be too big is if we smooth the edge of the vessel here as well, it'll look a little bit unnatural. Like if you see, if I press this right now, if I do, and we'll use under local ops, sphere, and constrain smooth. So constrain smoothing will just smooth the vessel's, the surface together. Right now we just have 3 iterations and the constrain factor is 0.2. Your constrain factor can be anywhere between 0 and 1. We'll press smooth local. And the smoothing processes can take a while to do as well. See, so since I had the sphere around the edge of the aorta too, it looks a little bit weird there now. So that's not what we want. So I'll just I'll undo that. And then make the sphere smaller so that it only goes around the, and then if your sphere disappears, you can click on unselect sphere and click on it again. Sometimes happens if you try to make it too small. So make it a little smaller. And sometimes it's just about getting the right angle. So even smaller. So make this bigger, see if it's wrapped, see if the vessel's inside, the cap at least. And then just check all around. You can toggle it around quite a bit. And I think this is okay now. So you can make it even smaller so that it only covers, it's not changing the vessel wall. So I think this is okay. Yeah, so what we'll do is for the bigger vessels, this could be bigger values, but we could just, I think, 10, we could start off with 10 and see how that goes, and just keep the constraint factor at 0.2, and then press smooth local. So again, just to recap, we went to local ops under the SV modeling, and then we selected sphere and went to constrain smooth. Now we'll press smooth local. All right, so now it looks a little bit sharp around the edges. So what we can do is so we'll go to lap smooth. So this just relaxes the smoothing here. So it gets rid of some of the sharp points. As you can see, we have quite sharp edges here now. Yeah, you can also experiment with the size of the sphere. Maybe a little bit bigger is actually better. And we can see if that works a little better. We can do a few more of the constrained smoothing. The main purpose is just to make it look more natural, so that it looks more natural when the vessel's coming off of the aorta. So continue smoothing the local. Yeah, and the smoothing can take a bit to do. And you'll notice that because I made the sphere so big, the top section here actually looks a little bit like it's getting changed, and that's not what we want. So we can again try to make, maybe we need to make the sphere a little smaller so that it looks more natural. Yeah, sometimes you just need to replace the sphere to where you want it to go. And we'll make it a little smaller. Okay, so my sphere disappeared. I just unselect it and select it again. Yeah, so it's quite large now, so make it smaller again. Then place it at the vessel. So it might take a bit to get it to the right place again. That's okay. So we see that it's here now. We can make it smaller or bigger as needed. And we'll do some more. Go back and lap smooth it. So let's see, maybe we'll do, we don't need so many iterations, so maybe just 50. Relax factor, we can try making it a bit bigger. Yeah, that looks okay. And then we'll go back to constraints then. Smooth local. And let it do its job. Right, so if I take it away, you'll see the difference between how it still looks a little bit spiky, but you can continue doing this process. So constrain smooth, and then lap smooth a little bit so that it looks a little more natural. So it definitely doesn't look like this anymore, but we can continue smoothing it out. So I'll go ahead and you can also, so whenever you're moving to smoothing out a different vessel, you'll need to make sure that you're highlighting the vessel junction you want to do. So like we said previously, if you're unsure maybe which one this is, you can turn on your segmentations. And so we want to know what this one is, right? So that we can smooth out the cap for it. So is it else? We know it's on the left side. Is it the branch 1? Yes, it is, because when we turn off the segmentations, the segmentations disappear. So we know it's LCA branch 1. So we'll look for cap for LCA branch 1. And then now we can place this sphere around that junction. And then continue the process. So again, I'll import in a completed model so that we can see what that looks like. I'm going to turn off the sphere there. So I'll import a solid model. And models, where are the models? There we are. I think it was the latest version. All right. So this is our model here. So as we can see with this model, we have a lot of edges that are more smooth out. So you can see here, this one looks